So someone wrote in and asked, what are some techniques and ways I can please multiple partners if I'm a swinger or a poly? This is Reid Mahalka from readaboutsex.com.
Cathy Vartuli from the intimacydojo.com. Get them other lovers and partners?
No, I mean, I think they mean in the moment you have multiple lovers. Like, how do you balance and play
like a group sex situation?
I believe so.
Yeah, now we're talking. Everybody's leaning forward.
I mean, it can be hard enough just to please one person at times.
Yes, it can. Again, so here, okay. As somebody who enjoys group sex and has a fair amount of it, first thing I just want to say is you may be somebody who having, a bunch of people and trying to please them all is just completely nerve-wracking, is not fun for you, and just puts a lot of pressure on you.
No, but some of it, you don't have to do that, but you don't have to have group sex to be cool, but learning the techniques might work with one person or with yourself too. Some of the approaches, like the paying attention and...
Well, I mean, yeah, like there's certain there's certain sexuality skill sets that are useful in one-on-one sex and then in group sex, right? And if you're curious about that, go to 10xonline.com and you can get some free videos on that. And I have a whole course about sexuality skill sets and understanding people's bodies and how do you create pleasure, which, you can try to do that with 2 people or more people at the same time. Being present with people, being able to kind of pay attention and not check out. Exactly. Just like that. Wow, that's how it feels when I do that to you, isn't it? Wow, okay. So the other thing is, how do you, when it's appropriate, get people to do the work for you? Right?
Oh my God!
This is because I'm lazy.
Please explain this.
I'm not just lazy. I'm smart. The piece about I have 2 lovers. Let's just say it's a threesome, right? I have 2 lovers, and one way to create pleasure is to include everybody. Right, like so. I'm gonna hand fuck both of you, or there's a vulva and then there's a cock, and that's actually really hard to do. It's kind of like this, so I'm gonna hand fuck one and jerk off the other. But if I tell you, like, if you 2 want to kiss, like kiss or tweak each other's nipples, I'm coming up with ideas to get the people helping heighten the situation, right? When I'm in situations and threesomes and moresomes, you can have somebody, be using pressure to push on the other person so that they get more into their body, or hold them, here, you lie on top of so-and-so and have them bite your neck and nibble on your ears while we do this to you. So for me as an extrovert, I like coming up with ideas of, and just like in the middle of a foursome or something, be like, I have an idea. Somebody's, sit on my cock while somebody sits on my face, and then, but do reverse cowgirl so that you 2 can kiss, and then you, sir, with the penis, come over here and put the penis in between the 2 people who are trying to make out. So I'm just coming up with kooky. It's like a Lego set,
yes,
or an erector set, where I'm trying to build just fun stuff. Where the bonus is if that's your style, and if it's not, you could ask that it be everyone else's style.
Yeah.
Right. I'm also role modeling that it's okay for everybody else to start shouting out ideas and fun things. So being an instigator where you're still not forcing anybody to do anything, that can be really useful. The other thing that I have found that some people think is the bad advice is I try to, before things turn into a fivesome or whatever, have a check-in with everybody about their needs and boundaries and have a safer sex conversation.
I think it's brilliant.
And my belief is if you ruin the fivesome or the threesome or even the twosome with you and another person by having a safer sex conversation, if you ruin your opportunity, you probably saved yourself and your friends or those strangers a headache the next morning, because if people can't have an adult conversation about sexual health and needs and wants, there's a good chance that, you know, the group sex scenario is going to get weird, and then people might regret it. And so I really am trying to not create regrets in my group sex situations. And by speaking up, if you ruin the moment, then that's the only regret you have. And that is a much better regret than you or somebody, you know, feeling like they had to do something they didn't want to.
Yeah. And the other thing I think it works well for, you know, a couple or group sex is that I think a lot of us have the idea that we're supposed to like get in a certain position and do it until someone orgasms or like finish and sometimes people like, it's fun for me to, I'm in the missionary position, we're having penetrative sex, and then all of a sudden we switch and I'm giving them a blowjob, or like switching it around. And when you're with multiple people, making sure different people get to be the center of it can be really fun.
Sure. Like I like to yell switch and be like, so-and-so in the center. And of course, like, you know, safer sex needs, sometimes you need to change latex gloves and all those things that you're trying to, you know, it's not just a big pile-on and nobody's paying attention to whose things went where. But making sure, you know, being the choreographer of the group scenario, making sure that everyone gets their it's like a musical. They get their song where they're center stage. They're not just ensemble the whole time. That's just really fun and decent. And again, it's also okay to not like group sex. Like, oh my God, too many people. You're not unevolved. You're allowed to like what you like and not like what you don't like. And, you know, even have group sex and be like, hey, you know what? I'm not into fucking. Like, I'm not into penetrative or being penetrated or penetrating somebody else. So I'm just going to, while you all do your thing, I'm just going to make out, like, you know, make out with everybody. And that's going to be my job. Or I'm lube caddy. And, you know, the condom
useful.
fairy. Like, so there's lots of different roles that you can play to find your place where you feel good.
Check out Reid's Safer Sex Elevator speech, because asking people what they like and don't like getting attuned in that way, and it can change day to day, is really clever and really powerful way for people to connect.
And that's it. Reid About Sex, REID aboutsex.com/elevator. Comments. Dying to hear what you have to say. Thanks for tuning in, Sex Geek. If you would like to continue with the brain sex, do me a favor and click subscribe right here. If you'd like to watch me on social media, that's where you're going to go. Next video, maybe? And if you really would like your own Sex Geek t-shirt, please click right here, right now. Boop. No, really, like...